France beheading, minister wants to dissolve Islamic NGOs after murder of teacher Samuel Paty. France's interior minister wants to dissolve 2 Islamic NGOs which he described as enemies of the state. It follows Friday's beheading of teacher Samuel Paty after he had shown caricatures of Prophet Muhammad in class. Both NGOs have strenuously denied any wrongdoing. I am going to propose the dissolution of CCIF Collective Against Islamophobia in France and Baraka City, organizations that are enemies of the Republic, Gerald Darmanin tweeted. We must stop being naive and face the truth, there is no accommodation possible with radical Islamism, he added. The minister told the Europe 1 radio station the 2 NGOs were obviously involved in the events that led to the killing of Paty, a history-geography teacher, near the school he worked at in Conf Saint-Honorine, northwest of Paris. This is false and therefore constitutes libel of great abjection, it said, adding that it had filed a legal complaint against a lawmaker and a journalist who had both made the claim. CCIF also said that when Paty was killed, it was still verifying information the pupil's father had provided to determine whether Muslim students had been discriminated against. Baraka City said meanwhile that it has not committed any illegal act that justified dissolution. By harming it and harming its beneficiaries and infrastructures, the government is committing an injustice that will endanger millions of people, it added. It also indicated that it would file a legal complaint for abuse of power. The European Network Against Racism, ENAR, said in a statement that it is extremely concerned by Darmanin's call to dissolve CCIF and expressed its strong support for the organization. We are concerned by the political pressures, at the highest level of the French government, an intimidation campaign targeting a human rights organization whose work is to address discrimination and hate crimes against Muslim citizens. Instead of criminalizing anti-racist organizations, we urge the French government to respect its commitment to human rights and fundamental freedoms. We caution political leaders on their use of inflammatory rhetoric, which fuels hatred and intolerance instead of reinforcing social cohesion and inclusion, it added. It's not the first time a prominent politician has called for the dissolution of CCIF. Former Prime Minister Manuel Valls called for it during his bid to become the Socialist Party's candidate for the 2017 presidential campaign. He argued the organization's funding and structure was opaque. Baraka City has also drawn controversy in the past. Driss Yemou, its founder, was arrested on October 14 and his home and office were searched by police as part of a probe for harassment against a radio personality. Macron announces measures against Islamic separatism. French President Emmanuel Macron has announced a series of measures designed to combat Islamic separatism in France, including new rules on foreign imams and education. By Connection journalist. The measures will also aim to fight foreign influence and promote the positive organization of the Muslim faith, Mr. Macron said on a panel of ministers on Tuesday, February 18, at an event in Mulhouse, Haute-Rhin. France will gradually stop welcoming detached imams sent from other countries such as Turkey or Algeria, Mr. Macron said, and would aim to increase the number of imams trained in France, instead. Nor will France continue to permit the 300 or so extra religious leaders that would usually enter the country during the period of Ramadan, he said. Funding. The country would also work to ensure that mosques are funded in a transparent way and that imams working in France are respectful of our values. Mr. Macron said, we need to know where the money is coming from, who uses it, and why. Currently, France has around 300 detached imams from abroad, who are recruited to fill a number of positions in mosques across the country. These include 150 from Turkey, 120 from Algeria, and around 30 from Morocco. Yet, this number represents a small percentage of the number of imams in France, who operate across 2,500 places of worship. The exact number is not known, but it is estimated that there are 1,800 imams nationwide. Education. Mr. Macron also said that from the rentrée 2020, the new school year in September, France would no longer be providing classes in other languages, using curricula from other governments. This scheme is currently known as ELCO, Enseignements de langue et de culture d'origine, language and culture teachings from the country of origin, and applies to 9 countries: Algeria, Croatia, Italy, Morocco, Portugal, Serbia, Tunisia, and Turkey. It includes 80,000 pupils per year. He said, "The problem we have today with this, is that we have more and more teachers who do not speak French, and for whom our national education is not relevant. I am not comfortable with the idea that in a school in the Republic, women and men are able to teach without the national education system having the slightest control. And we have no control, either, on the curricula that they teach. We cannot be teaching things that are manifestly not compatible with the laws of the Republic, or history as we see it." From La Rentrée 2020, the teaching of culture, and in foreign languages, will be removed from everywhere on Republic soil. Stay informed. Sign up to our free weekly e-newsletter. Subscribe to access all our online articles and receive our printed monthly newspaper The Connection at your home. News analysis, features, and practical help for English speakers in France.